and you're in a leader position, you have a responsibility to deal with real world politics, not with emotions. This is congressional records that will give you what? The original 20 sections to the original article of Amendment 13. Now read here Article 12 as an example. That's Congressional Globe.
The traffic, this is Section 12.
Yes.
Basically, this is what we call Amendment 13.
Yes.
Section,
remember in the books now that they give our children, you only have 2 pieces.
Oh, yeah.
You only got 2 pieces.
Oh, yeah.
As a matter of fact, take this with you, Doc.
Oh, please, yeah, man. Because,
Because, I mean, we're constitutionalists, so...
Yeah, well, I carry this with me.
Oh, yes.
I carry the Constitution. I carry 2 constitutions with me. And basically, the amendment is a very short piece.
Yes.
I mean, the 13th Amendment looked like that.
Yes.
Section 1, Section 2.
Yes. Now look.
But now, how many sections you say is here?
Here's the congressional records. Now this is back to the point, and this is what I'm saying to you: how our people are being educated, and they think they're being educated. That's social engineering, connotative linguistics. Now we're taking this. Now, as you can see, it's copied directly from the Congressional Globe. This is because people will say, "Oh man, y'all Moors making this stuff up." That's that Moorish thing, right? We deal with knowledge. Read that. Okay. Now read that yourself. No, read this.
Would it work?
Now
here's Amendment 13. I see that there are 2 sections here. Section 1, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, comma, except as a punishment for crime whereof the parties shall have been duly convicted, comma, shall exist within the United States, comma, or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Section 2, Congress shall have the power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. It appears, brother, what we are talking about here is that those are 2 sections in here.
Yes.
However, in reality, to this particular amendment, I count 20.
Yes.
20 sections, of which only 2 are here.
Yes.
Which means there are 18 things folk don't know.
What would happen with the general masses, right? When our people are talking about the social problems in our community, and then we bring up the facts that scholars know, it would appear that we're contradicting our brothers in the little clubs, the little Negro groups that are marching and praying and all this other stuff, and they think that we're countering them when we're really trying to bring their degrees up because information is being held back from them. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand exactly what you're saying.
Now read number 12.
Here's now I gave 2. Brother shared this. This is section 12. That is what? 10 below the 2 I gave you.
Yes.
Okay. The traffic in slaves with Africa is hereby forever prohibited on pain of death and the forfeiture of all the rights and property of persons engaged therein, and the descendants of Africans shall not be citizens.
Now, does any of our people need to expatriate from some citizenship that never existed?
You can't.
Exactly.
You can't leave what you never were.
Exactly. Can they be so-called U.S. citizens and then be taxable under the U.S. codes?
They can't be if they're not citizens.
Oh. So what happens if you bring this argument to our people and they're caught in the emotional belief systems that are taught on the street corners and through these little Negro clubs? They'll be debating with you all day long, wouldn't they?
They would believe that you were telling untruth.
Exactly. Or I have
an opinion. And they would accuse you, you made this up.
Exactly. Now, here's a demonstration. Now, and I'd rather you do it because we're both constitutional. Because I'm sharing with you, really. You know, because we didn't get a chance to talk. Because we're always moving.
Yes. This is the first time you and I ever really got to sit down.
Because we're always rolling. Now, here's the Internal Revenue Service coming at a brother, and you see the exhibit because they're taking him to court, right? Okay. Now, here's his response. And he's flying his colors, and then there's the Internal Revenue's response to his response. Now, have you read it so you know it's not coming from me. This is here, back to Brother Sonetta, because we always rap and we talk about these things. What is it with this sovereignty thing? Because when you're talking sovereignty, you're talking nationality. So let's talk about it in work, which means here's a demonstration of it in work. It ain't got to prove. I say, I'm from Missouri. All right, here's evidence. I gave you one piece of evidence. Now I'm going to give you another piece of evidence to back that evidence up. Because the issue is status all over the world, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Because the status determines a person's capacities and incapacities to exercise rights or claim of property in relation to third parties and the state. And if the identity is neutralized, then the status is dead. And when you're talking status, it equates in society with estate. One's capacity to make claims in relationship to property. Now, as a snippet, this is a standard letter from the IRS, and you can turn around for the camera to see it too.
You didn't file a Form 1040 tax return. And this is Exhibit IRS AT12.
And they're coming out, and this was not the only one because they're coming for a couple of years, but this is just one. Now, and this is his, and of course they follow up talking about what they're going to do.
And most folk get scared to death when they receive this.
And they're backing up talking about what they're going to do, you know, the old garnish, and they're going to determine, they're going to make up a thing for you and determine and charge you and lock your stuff up, you know, the usual thing.
Yes.
This is his response. Now you read that. This is a response.
Okay, it says, to whom it may concern.
No, you got to come with the structure.
Okay.
Because in law, when you're talking sovereignty, you don't talk sovereignty, you're talking nationality, so you must fly your colors.
Flying your colors mean
that means your national flag, your flag. In other words, because when you're not flying your colors, you're considered an abandoned ship. Because remember, when they're operating with the birth certificate and those other instruments, they're dealing with bottomry instruments, shipping, port, water, breakwater, you know, old birth, which they also talk about here, which you'll read, where they use the birth certificate, etc., in the congressional record. Now, so when you know, this is demonstrating when you know how you're supposed to structure things to counter their claim. Because they're claiming personam jurisdiction and subject matter jurisdiction, which is classification of law. So you must fly your colors. All right? Now, read and notice the structure of this.
Okay.
It's important because that deals with the activation of the sovereign right that you're talking about. It's all over the world.
The notice in law is sent via United States certified mail, number, then give number. From, and then list name, address, to whom it may concern, Department of Treasury. And then I asked her, Hosang L, going through that, received unsigned mailing dated May 21st, 2012, which is the first document.
Which is in reference to the suit that where the IRS is coming out.
Okay. From a mysterious person in your agency, the mailing exhibit, gave number, was received on the 24th day, May 2012. Notice, and then notice date, tax period. This mailing has no signature of a natural living person, which indicates an inducement to fraud. Please send me a complete and clear documentation signed by a natural living person exposing, explaining, revealing, and disclosing the actual and or implied relationship or relevance of your form. As of now, it is unclear to me who you are, what nation's constitution authorized your activities, and how can I recoup or reconvey my already lost, misgiven, misappropriated, and generally wrongfully forwarded monies. Bang, bang, bang. Same heading on top.
Yes.
Take notice that this correspondence, your mailing, and future correspondence will be published on the Moorish Nation publication website. Please send all further correspondences in care of. Notice to the agent is notice to the agent is notice to the principal. Notice to the principal is notice to the agent. It's got a Moorish stamp. In good faith, trust, truth, and honor, I am. His signature, 5th day of May. CC's Honorable Eric Holder, Douglas Shulman, High Commissioner, United Nations, International Court of Justice, Vienna Convention, treaty violations, etc. Minister Taj Tariq Bey, Great Seal, National Association of Moorish Affairs. Enclosures. Copy of mailing from Internal Revenue Service, 4 pages. This is page 2 of 2.
This is their response to his response to their claim.
Okay, now this is dated July 24th, 2012. And this is
from the IRS.
we received, Collection Operation Manager, and dated Stephanie Perry. Dear taxpayer, because still haven't identified.
Yeah.
Dear taxpayer,
Yeah.
Thank you for corresponding to our inquiry about the above tax return. Based on your information, we agree that you aren't legally required to file a tax return for the above tax periods. We are taking no further action at this time, but may need to contact you again if other tax issues arise. You don't need to reply to this letter. If you have any questions about this letter, you may write to us at the address shown above, or you may call us at 00 individuals or 1-800-businesses. For non-case related questions, you can also check on our website at www.irs.gov. Sincerely yours, Stephanie Perry, Collection Operation Manager.
Now that's exercising it. That's exercising nationality. And it was corrected status, but that's also understanding this. So you're not dealing with emotion. You don't get no lawyer. You don't get nobody march, and you don't protest. If you're of a nation, you use national and international law. That's what you're supposed to do. That's why Obama signed rights of indigenous people when he came back. That's what we're supposed to be exercising. That's it in operation. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
I understand
All
now.
right, I need you to
Now,
I understand
again,
now.
cross-examine the
so
brother.
when we're enforcing Constitution, that's enforcing Constitution. You understand why? Because we got treaty, their obligation. Article 6 of Constitution. All debts and contracts entered into before the adoption of this Constitution shall be binding, not for, against the United States, under this Constitution as under the Confederation. And all treaties made, or which shall be made, under the authority thereof, what? Shall be the supreme law of the land. And if you don't have a nationality, you ain't enforcing no treaty. See how